At the start of the movie, a woman leaves her daughter at the church door. The father had grabbed the girl, but the woman was not found after that day. Here we see a man coming out of a cabin. The scene cuts from here and shifts to the present. The girl we met in front of the church, whose name is now Ruby, has grown up. In an interview, she was telling her story, that how my real mother left me at the church door, and then I was adopted by Carla, who has proved to be the best mom in the world for me. During these talks, the show's director hears some strange voices in the show, as if someone is whispering. They don't pay much attention. Continuing the interview, the host tells Ruby that the purpose of this show is to find your real parents. Through your DNA sample, we see that some strange creatures were doing mischief in this show, which are not completely visible at this time. They pick up someone's coffee mug and put it down from here. Somewhere they remove the switches of the spotlights. Because of which the spotlight was about to fall on Ruby, but the anchor saves her. At that time, it seemed like a normal accident. That suddenly the anchor gets a switch on his head and he gets injured. This work was also of those small creatures. The scene is shown a few days later. Ruby was still working with a music band in a club, and here, the man shown at the beginning of the movie, Doctor Who, was keeping an eye on Ruby. The next day, Ruby is doing her job in this club, and today she finds Doctor Who dancing differently from everyone. Ruby was liking it. We see that the small creatures are bothering Ruby again. They were about to drop Ruby's drink glass, so Doctor Who catches it and puts it on the table. And he talks to Ruby. He tells her that I am from the Health and Safety Department. Would you like to tell me that these strange things happen to you often, like falling and breaking things? Ruby says yes. Is it because I am very careless? Doctor Who says no. Its reason is more dangerous than this. Saying this, he left Ruby in confusion and had left here. The next day, Ruby was going out with her friends. She tells her friends that I spoil a lot of things, and that's why I lost my job. I think I'm having a bad luck. They sit in a taxi, and at the same time, the signal turns red. There was a snowman statue on them, whose screws also appear to be opening those small creatures. Before that statue falls on their car, and their car has an accident, Doctor Who turns the signal green with his device. The car goes ahead and this statue falls on Doctor Who. After that, Doctor Who disappears from here by sitting in his teleportation cabin. The next day, Ruby was coming home from the grocery. And here too, those small creatures tear her grocery bag to bother her. Poor Ruby collects all the stuff, but the eggs were broken. She comes home and tells all this to her mom. Her mom tells her very happily that a new baby is coming to our house today. She also gets excited because today was her birthday too. Ruby's mom, Carla, who raised her, runs an orphanage. But she raised Ruby like her own daughter. At her home, she gives the responsibility of this little girl to Ruby. She goes out of the house, and then Ruby gets a call from that anchor who was interviewing Ruby at the start of the movie. She tells Ruby that through your DNA, your real mom and dad were not found from all over the world. At the same time, she was asking Ruby if anything bad happened to you after that day. A lot of things went wrong with me. I had a lot of accidents. I fell off the boat. She was still very much injured. She was telling all this now that suddenly the Christmas tree kept with her also falls on her. and the call is disconnected. Ruby hears some sounds from the phone kept in the baby's room. As if someone is wishing her a birthday, she quickly goes to the baby's room and gets worried because the baby was not there. She sees under the bed and their camera is kept there. A picture was taken from their camera in which we could see the face of that little creature. Ruby sees the creatures going from above and follows them. Where these creatures were taking the baby to the sky by putting her in a basket. Ruby also climbs up their ladder, and we see that doctor who comes here, who tries to follow Ruby and asks Ruby, "Why are you climbing this ladder hanging from the sky?" Ruby says that the creatures are taking the baby. The doctor also jumps and climbs the same ladder. And telling Ruby about their creatures, he says that their name is Goblin. Now Ruby was also finding it difficult to hang on this ladder. The doctor gives her such gloves which could easily lift all the weight of Ruby. This ladder was attached to a ship flying in the sky. Doctor who says that this is the place of goblins, where goblins eat children. And now they will eat us too. Ruby is scared to hear this, and the goblins pull them up from the ladder. Goblins had imprisoned both of them. Ruby says to the doctor that today is my birthday. Hearing this, the doctor tells her that if today is the birthday of both of you and that girl, then due to this coincidence, the goblins have picked up that girl. Because coincidence makes the children more fun for the goblins. These goblins go after coincidence, luck and such things. Now as you had bad luck, so these goblins are after you. These goblins get to know about the future coincidences in advance. They had known that girl is going to come to your house on Christmas Eve. Ruby asks that how do you know all this? The doctor says that I have just found out all this. Doctor who had also released himself at this time as well as Ruby. They try to open these doors with the help of their gadgets, but nothing was metallic here, and their devices used to work on metals. They now use their brains and pull a rope tightly. And so these people are free from this trap. Ruby had told the doctor that she was born at 2 o'clock. And now according to the doctor, the goblins were going to eat this girl at 2 o'clock. These people were on their way to save the girl through a tunnel. And then they hear a bell. There were only 10 minutes left to 2 o'clock. These people look down from a hole where there are a lot of goblins. On one side, some goblins are dancing. On the other side, the girl is being taken to the front on a conveyor belt. And on the other side, we are shown the king of the goblins, which was looking very big and very dangerous. Seeing this, Ruby gets even more scared. As Ruby's baby was going to move forward on the conveyor belt and go into the king's mouth. And then by opening a doctor's rope, these to fall on the conveyor belt. On the same conveyor belt on which the girl was on. This conveyor belt stops, and all the goblins start looking at them in amazement. When Doctor, who picks up the child in front of the king of the goblins, the king gets very angry. Now Doctor who introduces himself to them and starts dancing to the song they are playing. The king and all the goblins are happy to see their dance. While dancing, Doctor who himself wore a glove and gave the other glove to Ruby. As soon as they wear both the gloves, they take the girl with the rope and come down. Goblin King was very angry to see these two running away from here when these two had reached their home. Here Doctor who takes his gloves back from Ruby because their charging was very low. Ruby was going to tell all this story to her mom, and Doctor Who forbids her to do so. Ruby, who was still scared, felt that the goblins would definitely come here to take their revenge. Doctor Who tells Ruby to check all the switches in the house, because whatever the goblins did, it seemed like an accident in this world. Doctor Who felt that the goblins would make some kind of short circuit here. After all this, Ruby tells her mom that she did not find any trace of her real mom and dad in this world. After hearing this, Carla becomes happy and says, "It's good because I can't share you with anyone." After listening to them, the doctor says that I am also an adopted child. Wow! Coincidence. As soon as these words come out of Carla's mouth, Doctor Who forbids her to say these words. Because as we know that the goblins come after coincidence, so they could have come here too. But this time, the word coincidence came out of the doctor's mouth 3 times. As soon as he does this, their house suddenly starts breaking. There's a crack in the roof of the house, and their flat is broken in half. The doctor checks the whole house and says, "Thank God they left. This was probably their goodbye gift. Because the baby was also safe here. Even the goblins had disappeared from their picture." The doctor was happy with all this until he found out that Ruby was also missing from her house. It didn't just end here. Ruby was not only missing from her house, she was also missing from her mom's memories from this world. All this clearly means that the goblins went to the past and took little Ruby with them. The doctor understands that he will have to go back in time and fix all these things. Sitting in his teleportation cabin, Doctor Who arrives on the same night when a lady left Ruby in front of the church. This is the same scene that we saw at the beginning of the movie. The doctor sees that the goblins were taking Ruby up. The doctor climbs up the stairs, but the stairs break. On the other hand, the Goblin King was about to eat Ruby, when suddenly Doctor Who wears his super gloves and pulls the goblin's ship down. This ship collides with the church's pillar, which is stabbed in the stomach of the Goblin King, and the Goblin King dies there, after which the goblin's ship disappears. The doctor catches the falling Ruby and puts her in front of the church again, and goes away from there. He sees that the church's father had taken Ruby to the church, after which he comes back to his machine in the present time, where Ruby's flat was still cracked. He is very happy to see Ruby as before. He was telling all the story to Ruby that suddenly he remembers the anchor on which the Christmas tree was about to fall. He goes back to his teleportation cabin to save her life from the goblins. And this time, after completing the mission, he does not come back to Ruby. Instead, Ruby finds him and reaches his teleportation cabin. As soon as Ruby opens the door of this cabin, she never thought that it must be so big from the inside. She was very impressed to see this. Doctor Who had solved all the problems of their life, which had come here because of the goblins. At the beginning of the story, someone makes small pieces of stones and buries them in the ground. And from here the scene shifts and is shown to a scientist named Martin, who, in the middle of dense forests, goes to the research area built by the government. We have come to know that at this time, a strange epidemic has spread in the world, because of which half of the people have been killed. There is also a shortage of food on the ground. The government wants to find a way to grow more food than the remaining fertile land. and the problem of food for the remaining humans in the world should end. Martin had also come here for this research. First, some of his physical tests are done to know if he is infected with the virus of the epidemic or not. After the test is cleared, he meets his guide Alma, who took him to part of the jungle where he had to do research. There was a painting in the house where Martin had stayed. In which the goddess, standing in the jungle, was being sacrificed to humans. When he asks Alma about this, Alma says that the old people believed that there is a goddess in this jungle. To make her happy, they used to sacrifice humans, and she takes care of nature. But now it is just a story to tell the children. Anyway, Martin asks the people here that the researchers who came here and got lost in the jungle, why were they not found through new technology? In response, he is answered that they went to the jungle without a guide. In this case, it is very common to get lost in the jungle. And getting lost in the jungle scares a person so much that the person does not stay alive. Martin did not just come here for research. He also came here to find someone. While going to the jungle, he tells his guide Alma about Olivia, with whom he had done a lot of research. She was really a very intelligent girl. She had been doing research in this jungle for a long time. But for the past 6 months, no one has received her letter. And when they move on, they find a broken, scattered camp. Alma says that a family had come to this jungle. I don't know what happened to them, but they never came back. Thinking that they must have died, they both get very sad. Before nightfall, they set up camp again. And this night, someone attacks them. I don't know who attacked them. There was only bright light in their eyes. They are beaten so much that they become unconscious. When they come to their senses, they see that they were robbed. They didn't even have shoes. When they move forward without shoes, Martin gets a very deep cut in his foot. She ties a bandage on his foot and gives him a stick. With the help of this, he can move forward in the jungle. And when they move forward, they reach a place where there is no sound. There was silence there. There was no sound affair. And suddenly a man comes in front of them. Seeing whom, they get scared. That man says, "There is no need to be afraid. I just saw this boy injured, so I came to you." He says that I have some shoes. So come to my camp. I will give you shoes. They both notice that this man had a lot of stuff. Maybe he had been living here for a long time. He sees the wound on Martin's foot, which was very deep. So he puts stitches in his foot. Gives him shoes to wear, food, and water too. In the end, after drinking some sweet, they both faint. This tells us that this man is also not a good man. For some special reason, he brought them both to his camp. He makes them look like dead people and takes pictures of them. When they both came to their senses, they were tied to a chair. They begged this man for their lives. That man brings them both tied in the middle of the jungle. He tells them that there is a strange power in this jungle, a goddess, and I can talk to her. And let me tell you an interesting thing. It is not a coincidence that you came here. You have been brought here. After all this, he tells Martin that your foot wound is very bad. Your infection has spread to your toes, which I will have to cut. Martin and Alma were stopping him from doing this, but he does not listen to one, and he cuts the fingers of Martin's foot with his axe. Martin was in so much pain that he was unconscious. Now that man takes Martin out of here. He makes him wear strange clothes. He puts strange things around him, as if he is now going to sacrifice Martin. On the other hand, Alma gets the blade lying near her chair with great difficulty. She gets herself released, and she was about to go out to save Martin. That bad man comes here. After attacking him, she reaches Martin with difficulty. And she also releases him. Getting an opportunity, they both run in two different directions of the jungle. Martin was walking very slowly due to the wound on his feet, while Alma was running fast. This man was about to attack Alma with an arrow. Then Martin calls him to distract that man from Alma. Now that man was after Martin. Because he was not running fast, Martin was trying to hide in the jungle, and that man tried to kill Martin. Then he sees a mic in the jungle. Martin shouts for help in it, and suddenly he sees the Sam bright light, and suddenly a girl in a suit saves him. It was no one else, in fact, scientist Olivia. To find her, Martin had come here. His fellow researcher. They find Alma in no time. Martin asks her, "Why did you end your contact with the outside world?" Then Olivia replies that I was very busy here. I got something here. Something because of which I feel that the world will change now. Olivia says that I have found a lot of strange stones here. And at the same time, I hear a lot of strange frequencies here. I feel that the trees and everything here talk to each other. And maybe there is some power here that wants to talk to us. Understanding these voices, I have also created a language. Martin also hears these voices and understands that these voices are not ordinary voices. Moving on to her story, Olivia says that I came here with my husband whom you encountered. We did a lot of research, and then we got a stone and a book. After reading it, we found out about a power here. To find out the truth of this power, I took the help of science. But my husband started believing in magic. And now he worships the Sam power, I.E. the goddess, and keeps trying to make it happy. This is why he wanted to kill you. Olivia says that I have come very close through this language. I think that soon I will know what that power wants to say to us. After all of Olivia's talks are over, Alma tells Martin. I don't believe in this woman's words at all. She is talking weird like her husband. I think she is in contact with that man. And we are still in danger. Alma says that we should get out of here and take this woman away from here. When Martin goes to Olivia to talk to her, she starts telling a new story to Martin. She says that you have not come here. Remember, your ears must have sounded before you arrived. Ours sounded as well. And that's why we came here. With these words, Alma gets even more worried. And she says to Martin that we are leaving here right now. As soon as they are about to leave, a strange poisonous gas starts coming out of the forest. Olivia says, "Go away from here, but wait for a while. Go away when this gas is over." But Alma was not going to stop now. To go from here, she takes Olivia's suit from Olivia, and Martin ties a rope with her, so that if Alma becomes unconscious while going into that gas, Martin can save her. This is what happens. As soon as Alma goes a little further, the gas starts affecting her. She starts having hallucinations. Some things start showing up, and she also becomes unconscious. Martin immediately pulls her back. When she came to her senses, she was screaming loudly that I saw him. He was very big. I saw him. It's night and we see that Olivia's husband also came to their camp. Martin and Alma had now believed that they were together. Olivia tells Martin that whoever is here wants to talk to us through you. I have made something for you. You drink it and then we will go out. Martin did not believe her so easily, but he knew that if he did not do this, Alma's life would also be in danger. He also knew that what he was drinking could also be poisoned. Martin was about to drink that poison when he came to a tree. On the other side, Alma goes to talk to Olivia. When she goes to her secret room, she gets pictures of many people. These were the Sam people who were lost in this jungle, and whose corpses Alma and Martin had seen in this jungle. Alma had now realized that this scientist is more crazy than her husband. Now she was thinking, and Olivia also came here. She attacks Olivia without thinking and injures her and comes out to save Martin, where Olivia's husband was about to kill her. She quickly attacks Olivia's husband's eye and then kills him. Martin's life was now saved. However, because of Olivia's husband's death, strange smoke had spread here. In this smoke, Alma starts hallucinating again. She gets strange thoughts and she becomes unconscious. And the next day, when she regains consciousness, she had completely changed. Olivia was in front of her, who fell to the ground as soon as she thanked her. As if she was freed by a strange force. And that force had now come into Alma. In a strange tone, she comes to Martin and says, "Let me take you out of this jungle." There is still a question left in the story. What happened to Alma and Olivia? There was really a force in this jungle that took care of nature and loved nature. But when humans destroyed nature badly, then that force started calling people to its side who took care of nature at its behest. But Olivia and her husband did not understand this. They started killing people to satisfy this force. And then nature called Alma and Martin here again. At the end of the story, we saw that Alma did not talk about killing Martin. It meant that that force has now found the right person to take care of nature for him, with whom this film story ends here.